Anchovies are a primary food for many species in the Humboldt Current ecosystem, including fish, birds, and marine mammals, but it is also the largest single species fishery in the world, primarily producing fish meal and fish oil for export. This fish, scientific name Ingraulis ringens, plays a key role in the Peruvian Sea, as hundreds of different species of fish, mammals and seabirds depend on it for food. It is a forager, that is, it is the main prey of many other species, because it is found near the surface of the sea. During the day it dives to hide from predators. This small fish, the length of an adult is less than that of a pencil, lives in the Humboldt Current present on the coasts of Peru and Chile. It eats plants and microscopic animals called plankton and also the young, larvae, of other fish. Ecological role. Its primary importance lies in the fact that it is a fundamental part of the Humboldt Current ecosystem. It metabolizes the abundant nutrients of phytoplankton, which serves as food for other fish such as horse mackerel, mackerel, tuna and other species such as sea lions, guano birds, whales and dolphins. Feeding. At the same time, it plays an important role in nutrition, not only because the consumption of this species is rich in high-quality protein, because it contains vitamins such as A and B, iron, omega-6 and omega-3, but also because it is food for many popular fish species. Artisanal fishing. Many of the fish species most in demand in homes, businesses and restaurants are raised using anchovies. This demand not only provides work for fishermen, but also for those working in activities such as transporting and processing fish. It is estimated that in Peru there are at least 250,000 people employed in fishing directly or indirectly. Industrial fishing. 98% of Peruvian anchovies have been processed into fish meal and fish oil for half a century. These products are almost entirely exported for use in aquaculture and pig and poultry farming. Cuisine. Certainly, anchovies support many other species for which typical dishes are prepared such as ceviche, escabeche, tiraditos, among others, that have contributed to making Peru the first culinary destination in South America. Tourism. We're not talking about sightseeing or fishing for recreational anchovies here, we're talking about coastal birds, sea lions, among many others, which are tourist attractions and sources of income. Their survival partly depends on the health of the anchovy population. El Niño events, also known as the El Niño phenomenon, although unpredictable, occur regularly, every 2 to 7 years, altering the global climate and causing human and economic losses. International. During this unusual time, the wind weakens or changes direction, so warm water rushes in, bringing heavy rain and flooding. These warm waters are less productive. Under these conditions, anchovies hide in very deep waters, out of reach of fishing nets and the animals that often eat them. For this reason, during El Niño, the behavior of many fish species that depend on anchovies changes, becoming less available, while favoring other species more typical of warm waters such as macaws. And fan housing. On the other hand, the mortality rate of seals and seabirds is higher. The decline in anchovy populations has a domino effect affecting fishing boat owners, processing plants, restaurant owners, fish meal distributors, tourism companies, and more. Although this is a resilient species, we have twice seen the collapse of this fishery due to lack of caution in the face of changes caused by El Niño and over-exploitation of resources. History has shown that relaxing regulations in times of risk with a short-term view will lead to crises for ecosystems, fisheries and the jobs and incomes that This is a pelagic fish that lives in dense schools in cold surface waters near the coast, but can be up to 180 kilometers offshore. It feeds on plankton and breeds mainly from July to September and to a lesser extent during February and March. It is high in fat with lots of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. El Niño Southern Oscillation, ENSO, events, often simply called El Niño, have negative effects on resources. It has a thin and elongated body, the color varies from dark blue to green on the back and silver on the belly. Its fishing is carried out by industrial or artisanal fleets. Anchovies are used to produce fish meal and fish oil. although it is also sold fresh, refrigerated, conserved, salted anchovy fillet, frozen, whole, gutted, H&G. Since 2000, anchovies have also begun to be used in fresh, canned and frozen forms. The Institute of Fisheries Technology, today the Institute of Production Technology, ITP, with the support of FAO, has carried out research to develop new products from anchovies, with the aim of taking advantage of this marine resource for direct human consumption. In some countries, e.g. Canada, canned anchovies are marketed as Peruvian sardines. The Ministry of Production has authorized the start of the first artisanal fishing season for source anchovies and white anchovies in the maritime area from 16 degrees 00 LS to the endpoint south of Peru's maritime territory. The maximum catch limit for the first fishing season of 2024 in the southern region will be 251,000 tons as recommended. Conference of the Peruvian Maritime Institute. It is important to mention that the commencement of mining operations takes effect from 00 hours on the third working day from the day after the publication of this ministerial resolution. In that sense, only vessels with a license to fish for anchovy stocks intended for indirect human consumption, registered and authorized to carry out fishing activities during the current fishing season, can do so. Fishing mission. To protect resources, fisheries surveillance and monitoring will be carried out to take measures to protect this species. The quota is established based on IMA-RPE's scientific recommendations, aiming to develop a sustainable operation that contributes to the recovery of the fishing industry. This year, anchovy biomass has decreased by 34% compared to the level recorded in the summer of 2022. Research by the Peruvian Sea Institute shows that, as of April 1, 2023, the stock of this species was 6,450. 383 tons compared to up to 9,780,370 tons registered last year. If these data are compared with the average summer biomass calculated from 1996 to 2022, 8,516,623 tons, the figures also show a decrease of 24%. In the first months of 2023, according to 3 studies conducted by IMARP between February and May, the biomass was made up of juvenile fish ranging from 82% to 91% in quantity. That means for every 10 anchovies in the sea, there are 8 or 9 that are smaller than 12 centimeters in size and have not yet reproduced. Faced with this scenario, the Ministry of Production decided that this year there will not be the first industrial anchovy fishing on the north-central coast of Peru and announced that the second fishing season is still uncertain. With coastal El Niño developing and global El Niño confirmed, the outlook for the species and the fishing industry is uncertain, especially for the approximately 20,000 industrial fishermen who will be without income. Due to the cancellation of the first fishing season, usually takes place from April to July. Anchovies are one of the most consumed fish species in our waters. Despite the crisis caused by El Niño and overfishing in 1972, the recovery of this small fish has been remarkable and we can enjoy it in our cuisine today. Let's review the history of anchovies, learn about the dishes it's made of and its nutritional properties. Anchovies are fish that move in schools through surface waters throughout our seas. The cold waters and plankton richness of the Humboldt Current benefit their reproduction, thanks to which anchovies can spawn at all latitudes of the Peruvian Sea. Due to adaptation to cold environments, anchovy reproduction is altered by strong warm water currents created by the El Niño phenomenon in the area. The average anchovy size is from 12 to 17 centimeters. However, the longest-lived specimens can reach 20 centimeters. It lives for about 3 years and reaches a weight of 27.3 grams. The oldest evidence of anchovy consumption on the Peruvian coast was found in the upper part of the Zana Valley, Lambayeque region, dating from 9700 to 9200 BC. 14. On the other hand, in Huaca Prieta, located at the southern end of the El Brujo archaeological complex, La Libertad region, remains of anchovies date back to 5600 BC, a time when fishing was enhanced by making cotton nets. On the central coast of Peru, the Archaic period, 7600–1700 BC, sites of Caril, El Paraiso and La Paloma have anchovies as the fish with the greatest presence in the archaeological context. First. Since then, and depending on natural cycles, anchovies became one of the most consumed marine species in the diet of ancient Peruvians. During the colonial period, the density of anchovies in the Peruvian Sea attracted the attention of the Spaniards. Father Bernabé Cobo in his New World History describes in detail the rich presence of this fish. Such dense schools of anchovies occur along the coast of Peru that, when I sailed from Lima to Trujillo in 1627, our ship was surrounded by a fish so large that the water looked like a black spot, and because it was calm, the people on the ship picked it up in a basket, with nothing more to do than put the basket tilted into the sea and scoop out the anchovies. During the Viceroyalty, anchovies were a very popular food source in Lima and perhaps other coastal cities due to the delicious taste and low price. It is consumed fresh in coastal areas and dried in the sun for distribution to distant places. Every year there are a lot of anchovies entering the city from the harbors and coves, so there seems to be no shortage. This small fish plays a fundamental role in the food web of the Humboldt ecosystem, serving as food for hundreds of species of marine animals, birds, mammals and humans. Currently, anchovies are the most caught species in the world and are Peru's main export product. The anchovy industry allocates most of its catch to the production of fish meal, fish oil and capsules. However, we can consume anchovies in fresh, canned and frozen. Anchovies have a distinctive and strong flavor that makes it relatively unappealing to the Peruvian public, and therefore it tends to be consumed in small quantities. Although the Peruvian government has devoted a lot of effort to promote this product, the direct human consumption market for anchovies is still small. This does not mean that dishes using this fish are not delicious, nutritious and beneficial, because no one can refuse delicious tiradito or marinated anchovies. There are many possible recipes, including areca anchovies, stir-fried anchovies with vegetables, chili anchovies, dried anchovies, chupe anchovies, anchovy ceviche, anchovy tempura, anchovy soup, among others. Other dishes. Anchovies are a superfood because they have omega-3 and omega-6, essential fats that the human body produces. In addition, omega-3 also cleans the body's arteries, dissolves and removes cholesterol and triglycerides. This fatty acid promotes nerve connections in the brain, is essential for vision and keeps our skin healthy. This small fish is a source of antioxidants, such as vitamin E and retinol, vitamin A, which help delay the oxidation of other molecules, giving you younger, healthier skin. Likewise, its high protein value allows muscles to regenerate faster, strengthening tendons and ligaments. Anchovies are foods rich in lysine, an essential amino acid.
Estamos acabando y el agua no bota sangre.
Peru will continue to be a major producer of fish meal and fish oil, thereby supporting global aquaculture production. It is estimated that to produce 41.06 million tons of farmed fish, current annual volume, the world uses 9 million tons of whole fish converted into meal. That is, each ton of whole fish used to produce fish meal and fish oil allows the production of more than 4 tons of farmed fish. For other users, the government of Peru will implement a $120 million innovation project in the country's fisheries and aquaculture sector, with funds obtained from the World Bank and public grants. This project is expected to fund initiatives aimed at increasing direct human consumption of anchovies. The government also launched the new brand, Superfoods Peru, to promote exports of fatty fish such as anchovies, mackerel and horse mackerel, introduced at the 2017 Seafood Expo in Brussels. Another way anchovies can directly benefit human nutrition is through food fortification. Nowadays, the nutritious amino acids in anchovy protein are used to enrich various foods such as milk, orange juice and cooking oil. To further promote this market, SNP has developed a technology solutions program to develop new products that support human nutrition and health. Despite the efforts of the Peruvian government and the private sector, direct human consumption of Peruvian anchovies remains very low in the country. This is an interesting case study that points out the misconception that forage fish species are best for direct human consumption. In this case, there are other species that are more suitable for domestic household consumption, and these are the species that are popular in the market. Instead, indirect consumption of the species through the provision of fish meal and fish oil feeds the world's population through aquaculture. This statement was made by Peruvian Deputy Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Héctor Solvi, at the 2017 United Nations Ocean Conference, in which he highlighted the contribution of Peruvian anchovies to the aquaculture industry. Global aquaculture. Similarly, Professor Manuel Barangay, Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture Policy at FAO, emphasized at the meeting on the sustainability of marine products held at the SeaWeb Seafood Summit 2017, that fish is a very important food that converts food balance into protein, more effectively than chicken or pork. Therefore, he emphasized, if we have to raise animals for food, raising fish is a very effective way. The perspectives expressed in this case study are not specific to Peru but are universal. For other areas where there are many small pelagic fish